you don't really know why you're doing it, but like, you know, like 10 years later, at least, like, you look back and it kind of all makes sense, really. Like, you're like, oh, I did this and then I did this, and it kind of led into other opportunities. And then, yeah, you know, and then I think like staying in touch with your mentors, like people that like really rooted for you, like.
Hello, my name is Brandi Hofer. Welcome to the Color Me Happy podcast. I'm so grateful you're here, and I'm very grateful for your time. You are going to feel so empowered with our episodes and our guests because they live a truly passionate life. They're excited about what they do. They know that creativity matters and that your art matters, and that it matters to following your passion in life to ultimately see your everyday ordinary as extraordinary. These episodes are almost unedited, very raw, so it'll feel like you're sitting down for coffee with a friend. Feel free to reach out anytime at Brandi Hofer Studios on Instagram and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for being here.
It's like, you know, it's like a man cave, but it's for the ladies. It's like she was gonna make it actually her pottery space, but then yeah, I think now it's their little laundry extra closet for now, but they built it themselves.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
That is so cool. I love that. And it really like goes into the whole, like, if you want a creative life and a creative space, just do it. Just build it. Don't wait for the things, like construct it yourself, think of the idea and actually follow through with it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, they're definitely an inspiration. Like,
and then share your she shed with your neighbors.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you've got bad internet.
I love it. That is so cool. Karen, thanks for being here. I'm so happy to have you on the podcast. I have been like drooling over your social media feed. I love your style. I love your murals. I love all the things you've done. I had a mentorship session yesterday and she was like, you know, if I just sell my art, and I was like, let's just stop right there. I'm like, I only know 4 people like in my circle of a lot of creatives. Like if you have a podcast, you connect with a lot of creatives, or if you've been active for 2 decades, right?
Yeah.
You got a lot of art friends. I'm like, I only know like 4 real people who like make a living from their art. Only one of them actually makes it from just selling the art. The rest like have multiple income streams, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. So where did you begin? Where did you start? Where were you like, I'm going to take on a creative career and go for it?
Yeah. So honestly, that wasn't my intent when I first started. I think I had like a limiting belief that like, you know, you can't make it as an artist, which is like something I think a lot of people believe. Yeah. So like I was always like, oh, this is just a hobby. So my first book I published in 2016, and it was just really, the intent was just to see if I kind of wanted to see if I could follow through on a project for myself. But I also how I discovered like coloring books was I was coloring in someone else's coloring book, and as I was looking at their images, I was like, oh, I really feel like I could make something like this. And I actually brought a picture, or I brought a book of, this is the first book I ever published. So it's called
wow.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's all done in pen and ink. And yeah, it has all these like nature inspired images. And I think over time, since 2016, I've published 16 books. And so the first one, honestly, though, that's not how I started. It really was just like, oh, like, I just want to put out a book. And then, you know, the second, the third, the fourth, and then so on. And
did you work with a publisher, or did you just self-publish?
I self-published. Yeah. And it was, initially, honestly, just for a hobby. But you know, then I realized, like, sometimes, I don't know, like, people ask me, like, why do you do the things you do? I'm like, I don't know. But, like, you know, a decade later, you look back and you realize, oh, no, there was kind of, like, a purpose and a reason. You just maybe at the time, you didn't form it in your head. And I just kind of noticed with all of my art or the things I like to put out, I really feel like art should be accessible to like everybody. And that's just like a message I personally would like to spread. Because I do think there's a lot of times like you think that, you know, there's like limiting beliefs in your creativity or your ability to do something. And so with coloring books, it makes it easy for you to start somewhere, you know, and
Yeah.
there's no pressure
For
really.
evil people in the world started coloring, the world would be a happier place.
Yeah. So
Right?
yeah, exactly. So yeah,
In
that's
theory.
where I started my journey.
Yeah. Well, okay. What I love what you said about that was like you didn't really know why, and you just kind of did it at the time. Like you trusted your
Mhm.
gut and
Yeah.
you just wanted to make a coloring book. So you went ahead and made a coloring book, and you put it out there. So I'm curious, did you do Amazon? Did you like just self-publish and put it on your site, or what path did you go for there?
I self-published through Amazon, and then that is how I got started back in the day. It was called Create Space, so it was different actually. And then yeah, and then since
It was
then
hard.
I
It's
kind of
hard to figure out, probably.
yeah. And then yeah, since then I've just expanded, and now I sell in a lot of like local stores, and um, you know, I sell yeah in different cities and states, and so it's pretty special to get to do that.
I have so many questions for you. That is so cool that like it like like went so much further. Do you still sketch out, like I have medium questions and I have media questions
Oh
and some
yeah.
business questions, just like truly out of my own curiosities. Do you still illustrate like by hand, or do you use Procreate on an iPad,
Yeah.
or what do you use?
That's a great question. So I initially, the first three books are all hand done, like pen and ink. And then, yes, I did discover the iPad. And the advantage of using Procreate is that, which is what I do use, is that it already digitalizes the file. Because before I used to have to scan in every single image. Well, then you have dust specks, and then you're spending hours just like on Photoshop.
Band-aiding?
Like, yeah, just editing out like a dust speck. So, like, you know,
Yeah.
it didn't show up on the final, like, you know, book.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it definitely has streamlined my process a little bit more. It just saves me time for having to convert each file digitally. And also, it just kind of allows me, I like to travel a lot. So, you know, having an iPad and that's all you're carrying is actually pretty nice. So sometimes, you know, I can, you know, be anywhere really. And I don't even need internet and I can still do my job,
I
which is
know.
awesome.
I always pack my big iPad where I have three boys and they're all in hockey. So we're like living at the arena in the
Yeah.
winter. And so there's always like really bored, like some sisters and some little brothers and like rink rats running around. And so
Mhm.
I always pack that iPad with Procreate, and I like, and for professional artists or anyone in the creative realm, it's like, buy this app. Like it has no ads, it's what, $15? Like
Yeah.
I'm still paying for Photoshop and I'm still mad about it for like
Oh yeah,
13 years,
Photoshop
right?
is expensive. I mean, I still also
Right?
have the whole Creative Suite, but yeah, they charge a lot, and Procreate's like a
I
one
know.
so.
I'm like, jerks. I actually want to like chat GPT. How can I get out of Photoshop? Because I still do have to scan and edit paintings in Photo Stitch. And I'm like, I bet there's another Photo Stitch program out there where I can stop paying Adobe for the suite monthly, right?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's so funny. Like I'm just lazy. Like I can't Google that one or chat GPT that one question.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Anyway, um, yeah, like Procreate is so good and so great for traveling. You're right. And like on an airplane or whatever. So, okay, how did you gravitate into expanding into murals? And is that okay, I'll just hold the rest of my questions.
Oh yeah.
How did that like go into the
Sure.
rest of the things?
So I've actually been muraling for 2.5 years. So it's actually pretty recent. And I still publish coloring books. And it's kind of like, I think that's the thing about like the artist journey, it's like never ending. Like if you have a creative thought, it could just go on forever. And so I honestly just saw a lot of murals in town. I live in Sacramento, and we have lots of murals in the city. And I was honestly super inspired by seeing other people's murals. And I always thought to myself, like, oh, that'd be so cool if I did one. And so, yeah, I ended up getting an opportunity with this like nonprofit called Wide Open Walls, and they it's like a mural festival. And so they gave me a wall and I painted one, and that honestly just gave me the confidence to know that I could paint murals like at all. Like, because it's just like it's like always the first time you don't know if you can do it. I honestly was pretty unknowingly like causing myself like lots of issues because the wall was very stuccoed, and I was painting with these tiny paintbrushes. So like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think that what would only take me a day or two now to paint took me about a week, with like so many friends coming to help because they felt bad. They were like, "Oh my God, she's suffering." But then, like, I mean, looking back, I'm like, I don't know why I picked tiny paintbrushes, but I thought, I was like, well, if I have to get it in the hole, it needs to be tiny. But actually, there's brushes you can buy that are like meant for like texture.
I have one right here.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I just realized my child dipped my $50 brush in.
Oh no.
I'll fix it. I'll try to fix it. But yeah, big
exactly.
These are the best. What Stalmeester. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These are like my favorite, and probably your favorite too, because yeah, you can jam them into
and over time, you know, I like the thing about like, I don't know, murals, it's very public and you end up meeting like lots of other artists. And so
where you live.
Somebody, yeah, definitely. Somebody
live, not really.
Oh yeah, I live in a city with lots of artists, so it's very nice. But yeah, no, another friend was like, "Oh yeah, you should try this trim brush, kind of similar to what the brush that you just showed." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then I had like another project that had a little bit more texture on the wall, and I was like, "I'm a superstar! I'm going so fast!"
Yeah, but you just learn. You've learned. My first mural was 50 feet, which was actually now when I'm like, you were very brave.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. That's a huge one.
And it took like over a month, which is insane. Like now I do one, like we have one coming up in July, and we have 4 days, right?
Yeah.
So you hire help and whatever, like professional help.
Yeah.
But like my dad would come at night and help me, which was very funny. Like just like. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a learning curve. And then I would have to like go back and fix what my dad did.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've definitely painted in the dark too. That is kind of honestly one of my favorite like things because Sacramento gets really hot and I'm always hiding from the sun. So I've definitely also, I think we've done a whole, like one of our projects we did last year, our whole team, 180-foot mural. We painted the whole thing in the dark, basically. And every morning before sunset, we were like, oh, this is what we did.
Let me just go back and fix those lines.
Yeah, and then we had like floodlights because we were like, it was like 110 in Sacramento. It was during like heat waves. So I was like, you really can't paint in that condition. I mean, you can, but it's not ideal.
Exhausting. Yeah, you're like, you paint, like, we don't hit those temperatures like we do, but not often. But like when that afternoon heat, it's like you're 45 minutes and you're like sunburned and exhausted and you're burnt out for the next day. Like it sucks all the energy out of you. I mean, it's really hard.
I definitely think that's something I've learned is to pace yourself, you know, because I feel like, you know, when I'm in a project, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to get everything done. But actually, it's nice to like take a break, eat some food. You know, you've got tomorrow. It's still exciting tomorrow.
Yeah, what's the best thing is we would get food sponsors. So like if I shared and tagged the food place, then I'd be like, we'd get lunch delivery and we'd all sit as a team and like have a nice lunch and have a nice dinner and like, yeah, take those breaks and visit with people. And the visiting with people though gets out of control. You're like, I can't come down. I just started painting again since the last person was here. Did you do that? So the koi fish, the big one, is that like a hand painted mural?
Yes, and that one was painted last year with my friend Zach Curtis. We did that, I think, in March of April of last year, and it's actually in Taiwan in a city called Taoyuan. And it's painted on like a 13-story building. So I think it's about 30,000 square feet. It's like the largest painted mural in Taiwan.
30,000 square feet? Oh my gosh. Tell me about that. How did you guys do that? That is so much work.
It was a lot of work. I mean, we had a team, and my partner Nick also helped out. And basically, we rolled almost the entire building with rollers because initially we wanted to, spray, but it's like, I guess the way the wind was, and it just had very high winds, like very, very high winds all the time. And so if you were to spray, like it will shoot around the building and spray everything else.
I've been there. Yes.
Yeah. Because it's like 13 stories high, so the wind gets kind of crazy up there. But like we did spray on one of the days. My friend Zach, he actually did all of the blending on it. And it was wild, like the paint. But the team actually covered like all of the cars around it, or else the cars would have gotten like paintbrush. Like
last year I sprayed cars and I had to go through insurance.
Sometimes it dusts off though, like but by the time it
my van was fine because I noticed it was right under and it was like a clear coat. And I noticed right away. So I just went to the car wash, but I didn't think of the cars that were 250 feet away got misted.
Yeah, and exactly.
Oh, it was such a nightmare, but they were super nice about it. So
yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing. It's like you learn on the job sometimes, these are things like it's hard to predict, but how insurance, so you're good.
That's what insurance is for. And now they're like, how much are you going to be spraying this year? I'm like, they're not going to cover me anymore. But I'm like, I'm not spraying this year. I said I'm actually running a mural fest in July, and it's our first one, and I'm like, no one's spraying. We're all rolling. Because it's like during a fair. So I'm like, you can't spray near a building and stands and people, and it's like, no, it's like everyone can roll. But okay, I'm still curious about your big mural. So your friend asked you to like join in and like do that project with you. Who designed it? All those details. I want to know.
Oh, sure. It actually was my project, and I asked
your project, okay,
to join on, and it became our project, which was really awesome. I did design it, and the idea behind that was so I'm Taiwanese American, and like growing up in America, I would go back and visit my uncle a lot and my relatives. And something kind of special about my uncle is he loves fish. Like he loves koi fish ponds, and like anywhere he would live, he would build like the community of ponds so people could enjoy it. And so so that's something I would do with him, was like we'd visit the koi fish pond and feed the fishes. And so I kind of wanted to do something that honored like our memory together. So I designed this koi fish, and in the middle there's like it's a spotted koi fish, so there's like different spots, but in the middle one of the spots is actually the shape of Taiwan. And Taiwan is known for its mountain ranges, and so the dorsal fin of the fish is actually representative of the mountain ranges running through Taiwan, because the mountain ranges kind of run in that similar direction up and down. And then it kind of transforms into like cherry blossoms, like the dorsal fin. Um, and yeah, it's just kind of the message behind that mural is it's kind of about life. It's like about transformation and moving, and so that's why you see the fish like kind of evolving into like cherry blossoms. Um, and yeah, I just wanted to make like a like I love animals, and so I wanted to like pick an animal that like I felt represented like my time in Taiwan as well.
Okay, did you grid it out or what did you do with that really
Yeah,
large scale?
we did the doodle grid method, and
Mm.
actually, we numbered it because on that scale, it's very hard. Like I know a lot of artists, they just do symbols, and that works really well too, but um, it's just so large, and so we actually did these arcs. We used our like roller, and we created an arc, and then we wrote the number underneath, and it just kind of helped us figure out like where the koi fish was.
Yeah.
Or yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
still like in a way freehanding, but at least you know where you are,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, good for you. How did the job come about? Because we had Phoebe on from Pander. Do you know her?
No, I don't.
Designs. She's a big muralist in the States too. She does it full time. You should definitely check her out. And she came on and she talked about, she's like, she does cold emails, which is like my worst nightmare.
Yeah,
But she does it and it works. She like cold email, like, you have this wall and would you like your logo or would you like your design, or like, you know,
yeah.
like she does very customized murals for like businesses and spaces. But how did that come up for you? Like obviously like you have roots there.
Yeah, yeah. It was actually hired by my uncle's company. They owned that building, and so they were looking to put up a mural. And so, yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So it was like
Wow.
really just an honor and like a great opportunity to like put that up for them.
Yeah, I've only done well, not only 3,000 square feet's big too, but like,
Yeah, no,
and
that's
that was actually a reach out project. Like, I reached out to them and I was like, "You have this giant ugly wall. Can we fix it?"
yeah. And I mean,
Yeah,
I think the location of that mural, it's very kind of it's more country, like at least around it. That's almost the one of the few huge buildings that are just like standing out. And so you can actually see that mural from the highway when you're driving, and it just really lights up the place. And like there's like a river
yeah.
too that goes. So it's like you see the river and then you see the fish. So it just kind of all goes together, which is pretty special.
It is special, and I love the story behind it. And it's hard to come off those projects, don't you think? Like a really meaningful mural, big, like you didn't know if you could do it. It was very scary, you know? It's hard to come
Yeah.
off and recover.
I mean, I definitely feel like sometimes when I look back, I'm like, we did that. It's so
I'm always
weird. I know we
surprised,
did
like,
it. It's
like
so
get a company to, did she design it and the company like install it, or like how did it work? I was very curious.
yeah.
Um,
No, we
because
were up
yeah,
there.
those, yeah. Okay, next question. Like, were you using cranes or suspension or what?
No, and because the wind was so high, like they actually got these stages that they bolted into the wall. So
So
yeah,
they figured that out?
yeah, they set it up to have two like stages. They're almost like elevators and they're electronic. So they bolted it into the wall and you would just move up and down.
So they're
So
made for like construction companies
yeah,
doing like whatever.
right, for whatever. And they installed it and then yeah, it was like literally
So they
bolt.
just like moved it every time you were on a different section of the wall?
No,
Or maybe I
they're
don't understand how this works.
I guess yeah, they had like railing that was drilled into the wall, and there was two stages because our wall was so big that one stage was not enough. And then it was like an elevator. You literally press a button and it starts to go up, and the minute you let go of the button, it just stops. So you could paint exactly where you wanted to paint. Yeah, it was honestly very, very luxurious. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you just,
No more
that's
climbing.
easy for you, right? Like I
Yeah.
hated the figuring out the like technical aspects part. Like that part, it's like super uncomfortable up here, 30 feet on a boom lift,
Mhm.
right?
Well,
Like swaying in the, right? Like
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
nice that was like the logistics of something. It was like, yeah, you pressed a button and you went up and down. Like you didn't have to worry about at least that, right?
Yeah, and you know, you have your safety harness and you're clipped in. Just because like at that height, the wind is so strong that they were like, that's not safe.
Unpredictable. Yeah.
And they don't want us to be in harm's like as we're painting something. So
Well,
yeah.
and I think some people walking into murals, like I was at a festival once and this guy climbed on this lift and I was like, well, did you do your training? And he's like, nope. And I was like, okay. And then he's up there all day. I was like, he's not clipped in. He's not wearing a hard hat. He's not doing anything like that he should be doing. And like, you know, like it is important. Like
Mhm.
you could fall. Our mayor came in our last project. And he's like, "Are you following the protocol?" I was like, "We're following all our. I got it. We're fenced. I'm following all the things that I need to, because I'm very like nervous about that. I'm pretty chill, but like
Yeah.
when it comes to people's, because he's like, I fell, and I wasn't clipped in, and you know, and then he has kind of a limp for life, and it is very it's very, yeah, important. So and I don't think people realize what goes into those sorts of projects, like the planning, the 2 years of planning. I don't want to scare anyone off. Like if you want to try, my mentee yesterday was her style was so cool, and it was very like to her roots and about her ethnicity, and like very clear and very like color blocking. And I was like, this would translate if you want to so well into murals, and you live in the States where there's parts of the States that is like there's a long mural season and then they quit when it's too hot. Like
Mhm.
you should try it, because
Yeah.
we only have 3 months, like 3 to 4 if we're lucky, of mural install. So I'm actually like
Unless
scaling
you
back on that.
unless you become a night muralist like me. Then you can
No, because winter.
Oh,
It's
oh,
not the
right.
heat. It's the
You guys
minus
cold.
47 degrees Celsius. Yeah,
And then
paint
the
won't
drink's
cure.
falling up here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, you
So,
put it on the wall, it's dry. And you're like, ah, second coat, ready.
yeah, no, we don't have that. Yeah, so it is what it is, but it's super fun. What else are you into this year? What's coming up for you?
So I'm flying out to Texas this Saturday for a mural. And it's for a queer health center. And it's actually a very special project because so I didn't, oh, I guess I didn't mention this earlier, but my highest art education was high school art. And so my high school art teacher, he's actually retiring this year, but he also is a like professional artist for a living as well. And he found this project for me. And so it's kind of like really special because it's like a chapter of his like life of teaching for over like I think it was like 30 years. Like he's taught for a long time. Um, and I was in his class back in like 2008. Yeah, so we're coming together and you know, his art's also going to be in the building and I'm painting a mural for them. And so yeah, it's really special to see like my mentor, like somebody that I always looked up to, and now we're working together like in a
Oh,
project.
wow.
Yeah, and he taught me so much of like what I know now today. And I think something super special he said to me as a high schooler that was very influential is he was like, you don't need to go to fancy like art college. You don't need to, you know, to be an artist. He's like, if you just continue to do art, you will continue to be an artist, you know, just do like just
Oh, wow.
and that was
You
such a
were
simple
so
but powerful.
lucky to have that,
Yeah.
like so early on.
Yeah.
Like
I
I
yeah.
tell people all the time, like I'm like, don't don't go back to school. It's a lot of money and a lot of time. And honestly, yeah, if you just live it, if you just do it, you are. And honestly, if you figure it out like 60%-ish on YouTube, you can go ahead and do it. Right?
Yeah, and you can literally learn it on the spot, I think. That's how almost a lot of my projects go. Like who's going to teach you, you know, what to do in, you know, for the Taiwan mural, for example. It's like you're just going to find out. Like you do the best, you prepare.
Unless you apprentice with someone and join them on a mural, you're not gonna.
Sometimes you just like, it's like DIY, you know, do it yourself.
You might miss some cars along the way, but it'll all work out.
Yeah, you got the insurance, you're good.
Yeah, also get insurance. Especially if you're out in public spaces, be insured.
Mm-hmm. And I guess something I didn't mention though is like with a lot of my murals, I always offer like community paint days. And again, it's that message that I want to send out that like, you can do it. It's not that hard. And so like some of my biggest paint days have had over like 450 kids at like on the wall. We do them in sections, like it's pretty organized. Like, you know, we'll do 20 kids at a time and they get like 5 to 10 minutes on the wall. But it's just so people can experience it and realize like it's not that daunting. Because like I said, with my first mural, I really was like, oh my gosh, like how do they do it? This is so crazy. And it was a 10 by 10 foot wall. And at the time I was like, this is the largest thing I've ever painted. And you know, I was like, wow, you know, and now in hindsight, like it's actually kind of a small wall for murals, you know, but it was the biggest thing I had ever done. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And it still took me to do.
Celebrated it.
But yeah, so that is something like I always offer. And like whenever someone signs me onto a project, like even the one in Texas, we're going to have, oh, it's really cute. We're going to have students from high school. So his last like senior class graduating, some of the students are going to volunteer and help paint the mural. And so they can have like real life experience.
Yes.
And there's also like a queer, I think like after school care. I'm not sure exactly like kids, and they're also able to sign up and participate as well. So yeah, it's like just kind of a full circle with this next project because it's like with my teacher, I'm like, you know, we get to mentor other young students, which used to be me, and to show them like, hey, look, you can do it. You literally can do it.
Just like this ripple effect, and then you have more art and more people empowering others to you know, tap into their creativity or be a part of it or enjoy it or sit in it. But also in that case, like it's a really safe space for young people who, like, we all remember what it's like to be a teen. It's kind of the worst, right?
Yeah. It's like it's awkward. You're you know, just figuring things out. I mean, honestly, like another secret in life, if you're listening and you're younger, we're all still figuring it out.
I
never stop learning. It's what I have learned.
The indecision and the uncomfortableness and the awkwardness never ceases. My husband listens. I'm a bad voicemail leaver.
Yeah.
Like, my husband's like, that was the worst, most awkward thing I've ever heard. Like, just he's looking at me and he's like, get off, like hang up, because I just keep going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? It's just me. And it's just, I am a little like uncomfortable and awkward, but like maybe seem out there.
Yeah.
And like, but I truthfully recharge alone. And it's just like, when you're excited about something, and this is great for what you do, and you can, you know, reach that kid who is kind of like you. And it's like, okay, she's kind of weird, but she's doing it anyway.
Yeah, that's a great way to summarize my life. Yeah.
Because when you are vulnerable, it gives others permission to be vulnerable. And it's so funny because even in a space where I really feel like I don't belong, I volunteered with hockey this year. So, and no, I'm not that good at hockey, but somehow now playing it in amongst, or like, I noticed that there was like kind of an elitist atmosphere. There was a lot of inappropriateness, bullying stuff. And I was like, I work with youth, and I've seen how, you know, you can be with kids and see them like evolve and accept one another for their like weirdness, their quirkiness. Let's try to like integrate some fun back into this atmosphere. So we fought really hard, the team manager and I, for me to sit in the room and like play games, trivia, bring prizes, whatever. And honestly, it was not easy.
Yeah.
But because I've seen it work so well with youth in the creative realm, what if I sit there and try to hang out with these kids? And then so I'm vulnerable. I put on they have like hockey playlist jams or whatever, and it's honestly it's so hip hop and explicit and terrible. And I was just like, this is the worst, and it smells in here, and like, what am I doing? And finally I threw on In the Jungle. Started like going wee. Like, I just got super like, if you are vulnerable and weird, it gave permission for them to start like, take off the pressure of the game, take off the pressure of life, whatever it is. When you're working with youth, it's like, guys, it's not important that you put up points or score a goal. You know what's great? The friendships that you made, and that Lincoln squirted Powerade through his nose and we all laughed that time. Like, that is the memories made. Like, your work that you're doing with your community, and that you're opening it up and you're giving back in this like full circle moment with your teacher. Like, that is why we're here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And,
sorry, that was a very long story, but
that's a great story. I mean, I totally agree. I think, and like I said, I feel like sometimes, you don't really know why you're doing it, but like, you know, like 10 years later, at least, like, you know, you look back and it kind of all makes sense, really. Like, you're like, oh, I did this, and then I did this, and it kind of led into other opportunities. And then, yeah, you know, and then I think like staying in touch with your mentors, like people that like really rooted for you, like that makes a big difference. Like yeah. So I feel like, whenever I think about my teacher's message, I'm like, I am living what he said. Like, if you just continue to pursue art, you know, like, you're still an artist, you know, if you do the
no
art.
matter what that looks like, you can work a full-time different job
Exactly.
and still do art.
Yeah.
It's funny, I had a math teacher reach out, and she was like, I'm so sorry for yelling at you for doodling.
You're
clearly
like, that was
this was your math. Yeah, you get paid to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, it can be exhausting too. You can burn out from an art career, but then you're like, you have to like sit back and be like, okay, I'm burnt out and I'll recharge. But how lucky are we to be tired from our creative job that we did?
True.
Like,
I think that's a really great way to look at things. I think for me, like, when I feel like I either just take a break completely, like I'll definitely like go for a month or two and I don't do anything, and I like, as in, I'll go just vacation, have a good time, and then I come back and I'm refreshed. Or like, something that I like to do is try new mediums, because I think it's like that, you know, when you're like a noob and you have no idea what you're doing, it's kind of like exciting.
That's what collaging is for me. I'm like, I have zero to like do with these collages, like, really, because some of my it's right under my, it's protecting my painting right now from my computer, but I literally have like my computer sitting on art. So beautiful. Terrible. Thank you. Yeah, so like, but I do like, this is a free program I offer, but like, I literally like collaging. So like, I love Frida Kahlo, and I know like some people are like, she's so overdone, and I was like, I don't care. I love her, and I love the movie, and I love her story, and I love her weird personality, and that she just like did her weird personality her whole life. Like, she totally, you know, she lived her art. Like, she she was the muse. And I think so many of us are afraid to step into our own power.
Yeah.
And so I just find her so powerful. But that's like collage. Whoops. Oh, I just ripped it. Yeah, collaging, like I like decorating the sketchbook more than I actually use my literal sketchbook. If I could just decorate covers forever for fun, and press flowers and have a great time, I think that's really good advice. Just like step into something else for a bit. I wrote a book. Like I wrote a book when I was burnt
that's
out.
awesome. Yeah, like
I had a
I've taken like watercolor classes too. Like for like I went to the community college out here and took a it was great. Like I learned so much about like I was like, oh wow, like you have to soak the like paper, and you know, I just learned all these new techniques. And then recently I've gotten into ceramics, and I'm just like crazy about it. I just like love hand building. I'm not very good at the wheel, but I
know the wheel. I was
wobbly pots. And then I paint them. And honestly, like sometimes I'm like, wow. But you know, like it's you can definitely see my art like transform into this medium. Like I love like the way I like to paint is very similar to how I would paint a mural. But it's just fun. It's like slightly different, and
that's the thing. You think you're taking a break, but it's actually playing and energizing the other work while you're doing it.
And what I realized with potters, I'm like, wow, everybody that does pottery, I think they have lots of patience, and two, like they can just let it go. Because for example, I worked on a plate for like 4 hours, like to paint it. I was like, it's only this big. I was like, in 4 hours, how much could I do in a mural? Like way more. But I painted this plate, took me 4 hours, and then it went in the kiln and it came out and it bubbled like the
oh god.
Oh my god. So it's not
and I was like,
I'm
not like patient enough for ceramics, and I know it. I've done it. I did it in school. And like, the whole it pisses me off.
Well, I love stuff, so I'm like obsessed. I'm like, oh, more. I gotta make more, and like literally the kitchen is already filling up. And then I'm also like making little shelves and you know non-practical items that are just cute. That are I don't know what you use it for, but I've just been making these little figurines, and it's just been so fun. So I mean,
I think once if you had the space and you got in a groove. You know, and you figured some stuff out. I'm just not there for the I love paper. I love paper.
Yeah,
I'm obsessed with paper in so many ways. But what I love about it is like our like little technique. Like my 5-year-old did this with me, and it's like it's his idea, and it's totally for fun.
That's amazing.
And like I like immediate results, obviously. So
that's true. The pottery you have to wait for it to get loaded in the kiln and then unloaded and painted and then loaded again. And
we have a little maker space that recently or on Wednesday or God, what day is it? Monday. She's like, will you come in here and just like do stuff? I was like, okay. I'm also like, she clearly doesn't know that I'm bad at this. You know, so it's whatever. And like you have to make time and space, and I love that advice that you gave. What was I gonna say? I had one more question. I had another question for you. I hate it. Happens. Oh well, that's okay. I'll let it go.
No worries.
So you're going for your big mural. I love that you. Oh, I know what I want. I want to attend some other women's retreats. I don't know if you've ever thought about that. I mean, I also want to teach some, and that's why I have to like step back from muraling a bit, because it's like you only have time and space in your life, and it's hard as a creative. And this is my lead into my next question for you. It's hard as a creative because like your like ideas are infinite, and you only have this like one life. It's like, oh, I want to open up a retreat center. I want an eco-friendly home, but I also want to start an art district and a mural festival. And you have all these like big And it's like you kind of have, but also be grateful for like the life that you're living and the space that you're in, what you built already. So I don't know if your brain is like that. Mine is.
I feel like mine is. Like, actually, when you were saying that, I was like, oh, that's me. Like I feel like I'm always doing a bajillion things at once. Like because I basically I run my my business of selling my coloring books, and I have to tend to all my stores, and I also like making those books, but that takes time. So you need time to do that, and then but like I said, like you were saying, like if you're on a mural job, like it literally sucks up all of your time, and it's not, murals are also just physically exhausting. Like as fun as they are, like at the end of the day I'm wiped. Like I work like 8 hours, and I'm standing, I'm climbing on the ladder, I'm doing all these things, and so it's very physically like a lot. And so there's only so much time, and then I'm like, but now I'm into ceramics, so I have to rush home from my mural site to paint my ceramics. It's like it's just like what is it? It's like, but I think that's kind of fun. I kind of
again, we're exhausted from our like life we created for ourselves.
Yeah,
cool.
I can't complain. I can't complain.
Yeah. So my next question is have you been in the position where you've had to say no to things, and how do you do that?
I'm to be honest, I'm mostly a yes girl. Like if they're
I'm always like, I need some boundaries. I'm like, there can't be 17 kids here on a Sunday, and we can't all make art together. Like, I'm very tired after that. Like, who are these kids' parents?
I'm like trying to think. I'm like, I'm sure I've said no to things. It's probably not something I practice often, because I personally, like, if there's an opportunity and I think it's really fun and really cool, I always try to make it happen. Yeah. So I kind of have more of the opposite mindset. I would say that, if I can make it work and I can accommodate somebody, I'm totally happy to do it. Especially like, if you're like just sharing your art, or, I don't know, if it's for a good cause, like I'm always down. So,
yeah. I said no twice this year.
Oh, good for
no
you.
twice. Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't like I'm literally at a point where I'm like spilling over. Like there's no logistic time. Like I had like 2 weeks of straight up 3 like either podcasts or meetings a day, 3 podcasts or meetings, which I find like speaking with people is fun, but like I'm tired after that. And then I teach Tuesdays and Thursdays. I run an art academy, and then so like it's like a lot. And plus this mural festival idea we came up with this year. Like, it's like literally you have to say no, because there's no way you can do that one. That's right.
Own limit. That's a good, like if you need a break, it's okay to say no.
It's so hard, and you'll probably hit this point in the next decade or 5 years, and you'll just have to. You'll be like, that was great and it was awesome, but I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's okay. It's kind of the worst, because I'm just like you. Like I get so pumped up and I'm like, that's gonna be awesome. But like, dude, you have 3 kids and you're like, all the things, and you can't let some of those, the glass ball analogy, like you can't let the glass balls drop. Like the rubber balls will bounce back. Like the commercial job you got offered, or the collaboration someone wanted to do, like that's a rubber ball. Like, oh, I know I said yes, but I'm really sorry I can't. Right? Like, those are few, or like those will come back. So I'm sure now that we said it, you'll hit a point where it's like, I'll be like,
I do need to say no.
Maybe so,
more like a maybe later. You know what I mean? I think that's often a like kind of my compromise. If I can't do something, I'm just say, maybe later. Because
my heart's calling to retreats, and my gut and my head. Maybe in 2027.
Yes, all women's retreat. That sounds fantastic. I would love to know about that. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm like, if this doesn't happen, like I'm gonna be like very sad.
Oh, I think you'll make it happen. You see, like, you're able to make a dream a reality. I think that's definitely, I can definitely see that in you. So I believe in 2027.
And everyone, let's just tell everyone right now, and this is a great way to wrap up. Everyone has the ability to make their dreams a reality. And we're living proof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally, like, for a few years after I had like been writing stuff down and manifesting, right? I was like, I just wrote them down and they came true. Like, do you guys know that you can do that? Like, and why isn't everyone in on this?
Yeah, I think it's honestly just when people say manifesting, like, it just happened. I'm like, oh, give yourself more credit. You definitely made that happen. It's not like, I think the idea of manifesting, it's like, I guess for me, it's like more symbolic. And then I don't think that
also you have to try really hard.
Yeah, like, I really think you do. You need to put into effort, but the first effort is thinking about it. Like, you just need to have the thought and then think about it more, and then maybe acting.
I'm not saying it was easy.
And then you manifest.
Did you know that you can, if you really want it, can do it? It's hilarious too how it works. You have to be kind of specific sometimes, because the universe will play a little trick on you. Like, I want to sell art. Well, how much? And how much you like? Okay, that can mean like anything. So be very specific with your manifesting. I was very specific one year because I made like -1,000, and I'm like, you got to do some financial goals if you still want to get this thing going. I wrote down $132,000. I was like, I want to be paid what normal people get paid, or like enough to support myself, put like money in a savings account, and have the like just the life where you're like, okay, if something happens, I have these little pods of, you know, like, I'd like to get started on that, but also, you know, live the life you want to live. And that year I made $132,400. Like, that's insane.
That is oddly specific. Yeah.
I know. I know. Like, and it was
just for 200,000. I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. I was realistic about it.
Yeah.
And then like the next year wasn't the same, but that's fine because we're contract workers. But it was also just a little bit more than it was what I could do to like beat my husband's income.
Yeah.
Also want to prove that I can make more than my life partner. You know, but like, do it. Just that's why Nike says not do it, but just do it. It's a very inspiring phrase. Okay. Karen, where can everyone find you? By the way, I love your little pigeon mural. I don't know when that happened, but I like have it saved. And I love that you got
in Colusa County. Yeah.
So
in Williams, California, if you're ever in there. It's a quaint little city. It's very cute. It's on the main strip. So right when you drive into and you see Williams, like, they have a little bridge or an arc. My mural's like right there. So it's really cute.
Yeah, I'm gonna show our art academy art soon. This week, and I love that you got back to me. I love that, and this is for advice for everyone. I love that I was like, what did you do for your sidewalk mural? Because I'm gonna do some with the art academy and the kids. This tempera paint, and I was like, schools have so much tempera paint.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, and it washes off. It's water based, so it's great.
Takes a while, but it does. We painted a pumpkin patch, so we have a rock, like a giant 30-foot rock garden in the front. So we're like, let's do jack-o'-lanterns for Halloween. And it took a year for it to fully come off. I know. But like, so the kids were like, it was like staining kids' snowsuits.
Oh no.
Because they're
all orange. Everyone's a pumpkin.
Snow made it wet. And then, I'm like, I don't think they're going to let us paint the rocks anymore.
Yeah, but maybe.
But it was cool. It was fun. Okay, I'm so glad you came. You said where everyone can find you. Instagram.
Instagram. I guess my Instagram is at Karen Sue Studios. And if you want to check out my products, I have like coloring books and greeting cards. It's sunshine-creative.com. It also has like a section where you can see all my murals that I've done. But yeah. yeah, follow along and see my journey in Texas.
Yeah.
The next one I'm doing. So super
It was
excited.
great to get to know you and hear all about your journey and your projects and that you're just going for it. I love that. It's very inspiring. I find you very inspiring and grateful for your time today. And we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for
Hey,
having
have a
me.
great day, Karen.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Wait, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Instagram at Brandi Hofer Studios anytime. I'm happy to chat. That's where I sit. And I'm so glad you're here and I cannot wait for you to dive in. So give us a like and subscribe and check the rest of our channel.
If you want to feel empowered and inspired, like and subscribe for more. And if you want to get creative, check out all our art hacks on this channel.